My name's Jalen. I'm losing my voice, but I'm excited to be here with you today. Thanks for joining. I'm the content manager here at Brilliant, and I'm really excited that you are joining us today because this is our opportunity to help get your journey kick-started with Brilliant. And this is designed to help you get the most from the Brilliant app. So this is your chance to just hear a little bit more about the heart behind Brilliant, learn how to get the most of your 5-day free trial or your subscription if you're already a member. And we're going to explore some of the app's key features. We want you to feel a little bit more equipped to navigate the content in the Brilliant Plus app in a way that, best suits your learning journey because we're all different. We have different needs, different things that excite us. You've probably gathered that Brilliant is more than an app. And that's true. We're a global movement of kingdom-minded believers, and we're committed to living and learning in the heart of God every day. It's as simple as that. As a team here at Brilliant, our heart is to help people discover who God really is, what He's really, and also who we get to be in Him. So this is through a very relational lens. You'll hear that word a lot, relational. It's our hope and our goal to create community and content that is revealing God's nature. We believe Him to be kind and joyful and loving, all those fruits of the Spirit. We also believe that transformation happens as we experience His love, not by striving to earn it. Brilliant Plus is the app where we help people interact with that content daily. It's meant to help you engage with God in simple, meaningful ways so that His perspective and His presence becomes your new normal. We're not working towards it, we're working from it. On the Brilliant Plus app, you're going to be guided by a few friendly voices. You might already have heard some if you've already been in the app, but primarily you are going to hear Graham Cook. So I wanted to just take a minute, talk a little bit about him as he'll be journeying with you digitally on this journey. Graham is an internationally recognized author, teacher. He's also a speaker. And he's very well known for his life-changing messages that have really helped transform the lives of people all over the world. He has had over 40 years of ministry experience, a lot of that traveling across the globe. And what people tend to remember about Graham is the insights that he carries and also the relational way that he talks about God, the way he talks about God's nature and our identity in Christ. And from that place, moving from any sort of religious performance into just an authentic, restful relationship with God. This is who your primary digital mentor is going to be. Okay, I'm sure you are already wondering, okay, I've heard about this Brilliant Plus app, but where should I start? I promise you, this is such a common question. I love to respond to this question by saying, okay, where do you feel the Lord leading you? What does that mean? What's grabbing your attention? Are you looking through the routines and that's capturing your attention, or you're browsing through the series and there's a title, that just pops out at you? Trust that instinct. There's really no right or wrong answer. You can start anywhere, but the purpose of today's call is to just show you some of our popular starting points. And then if you're on that app for your 5-day free trial, you can hear some of these starting points and then journey with the Lord together and decide where to start. Today, we'll be exploring Brilliant for Sleep, the relational routines, and the challenges. That vast library, we have, I believe, over 350 videos there. So there are courses, there are conferences, and then I see it's also split pretty evenly between Brilliant for Sleep and the challenges. I'd say the second most popular are those relational routines. I would say for people who are first learning of Brilliant, one of the things that tends to really resonate or really pique someone's interest is when we talk about Brilliant for Sleep. So this is an area of the app where you will hear prayers and meditation tracks that are just set to calming music. And we've had so many testimonials of people saying, hey, I used to have restless nights or racing thoughts. And now as I'm going to sleep, I put on Brilliant for Sleep and I can sleep in peace. And so if someone's wondering, okay, why would I want to try Brilliant for Sleep? I often like to say rest isn't necessarily just a physical thing, right? It's the way we're actually meant to live our lives with the Lord. So in this Brilliant for Sleep area, I think I actually have a slide here where you can kind of see what it looks like. There it is. If you're on mobile, that's what it will look like. You can choose different sleep tracks. There's different lengths. You can repeat the audio. Let's see, I can put my cursor here. You can repeat the audio here, but these are not teachings or lectures. They're actually just very slow, gentle audio experiences, and they're designed to help you in the day in peace, in the truth of God, and just in the sense of being deeply loved. And often when we allow ourselves to fall asleep from that place, it's a totally different experience than going to bed with the anxious thoughts and the restlessness. It's a way to settle into God's heart. And also, if you're wanting to learn more about God's nature, I'd say this is a really simple place, hearing these truths about God, hearing these truths about what He believes about you too. Brilliant for Sleep is definitely one of those things that's a really easy, I don't know if low-hanging fruit would be the right word, but for someone who's just curious and wants to engage daily, Brilliant for Sleep, there are so many tracks and different links that you can try out. Okay, so I'm going to move on and we'll talk a little bit about the relational routines. You might have gathered this already, but at Brilliant, we really believe that transformation is not about trying harder. We believe that transformation comes from walking in relationship with God. That's the heart behind these relational routines on the BrilliantPlus app. These are not checklists, they're not necessarily devotionals or plans. They're actually just these really simple daily moments of connection, and they're designed to help people, especially people who are new to this kind of learning, engage with God's love in very practical, very relational ways, especially on your busiest days. Just a quick overview, and then I'll actually play a quick video that will explain it in a little bit more detail. So each of these routines, I believe we have 3 on there. We have a 4th one that's not published just yet, but coming soon. And each of these routines runs for 21 days, and they're built around a specific theme. So for example, if you've been in there, you might already see one that is called Reset to Rest. There's one that's called Anchoring in God's Affections. So you can really choose a focus for your 21-day sprint. And so each day of the routine, you'll receive a short daily teaching, typically just 2 to 3 minutes. It's really simple. I like to listen to it on my drive from home to work in the morning. And then in the evening, it will be followed by a guided encounter that helps you connect with God's perspective and presence in everyday life. So those guided sessions, in those you might find space for journaling, for reflection, for prayer with the Lord. And again, these aren't tasks to complete, but just invitations to experience how God is walking with you, because often in our everyday life, sometimes we miss it and we're not aware of His presence. So it's really building this rhythm and this routine of just learning how God is with us during the day and reflecting on that.
Here at Brilliant Plus, we're delighted to introduce you to relational routines, a simple yet profound way to engage with God's love every day. Each routine offers 2 pieces of curated daily content, a short, inspirational teaching, ideal for starting your day. And in the evening, wind down with a guided session designed to reflect with God and practice what you're learning. To get the most out of your journey, here are a few tips. Open the notification settings to choose reminders for your daily sessions. Don't worry about missing a day. You can always revisit previous content in your routine. Remember, this journey with God is uniquely yours. There's no right or wrong way to engage with the content. You can mark each session as completed to track your progress and see your growth over time. And when your 21 days are completed, simply begin a new routine, or go through your favorites again and again. Because here, slow learning is great learning. Choose your routine today and discover a simple, relational way of being with God every single day.
All right, so that was just a quick video giving you a little bit more details about the relational routines, and I thought I'd give my voice a little bit of a rest there. Routines are a great way to engage with God daily, especially if someone's a little unsure of, I want to learn more, but I'm not sure. I would say these are great bite-sized ways where you can start your morning and end your evening, and especially if you're on the 5-day free trial and you want to explore and you want to absorb the content, I find that the relational routines is a really simple way to do that. And if you want to use that as your baseline and know you're going to do that every day and maybe explore something else along the way, that's great too. But these definitely help you get the feel of having a consistent rhythm of connection with the Lord. And some people are just curious of, okay, what is relational learning? These routines are going to be a great way to introduce someone to this kind of learning style. Let's go ahead and mosey on to the next one. So, we also have something called challenges on the Brilliant Plus app. These are also a great place to start, especially for people who they want to dive in, but maybe they want something that is focused and direct. And the challenges are really something that I feel sparks just this inspiration and this inspiration to connect with the Lord in a meaningful way. And so often our challenges are about 5 days long, and each challenge is meant to be just a short, powerful journey that helps someone to experience a specific aspect of God's nature and their identity in Him. Each day, you'll hear a new audio teaching. They're typically around about 10 minutes long. And in that 10-minute teaching, you might hear a quick introduction or even a quick reflection at the end that helps you really take what you're learning into your day. And so for someone who they only have 10 to 15 minutes a day, challenges are great because that's about how long they take. And it's a little bit more structured to start building this, what I would call relational momentum with the Lord. People like to start with challenges because they're short, they're simple, they're a little bit more focused. And for someone who's just jumping in with this learning, or they're saying, hey, I am looking for a new way to encounter the Lord, I find that these are a bit more focused. And so they give someone a very clear path forward without any pressure, without any striving, just a space to receive and respond. And there's also spaces for people to comment during the challenges on things that they're learning. So there might be questions that say, hey, let us know, what did today mean for you? What did you learn? I did want to mention Brilliant Plus right now. It's optimized for mobile, but there is the option to use it on a desktop. So I just took a quick screenshot of our 5-day challenge. This is what it would look like on a desktop device. So you'll have all of the days in there. I think the screenshot just has the first few days. But I did want to know optimized for mobile. So if people are asking, a phone is a great way. You can also get it on a tablet, but yes, it is available on a desktop as well. And we haven't had time to touch on the learning library just yet, things like courses and conferences, but I would be curious to hear. Just drop it in the chat. What things are you looking forward to if you have already gotten into the app? What is something that you have maybe already listened to that's gotten your attention? I'd love to just look in the chat here, get a little bit of engagement. Mentioned we do have another relational routine that's in the works. It's actually already finished, but we're going to be launching it in the near future. And we also have additional guided sessions. So we're in a very brainstorming session right now of how to add to the app, how to bring more value to it. So if there are new pieces of content that will be coming out, we will let you know. So we'll send you emails. And if you're an ambassador, that's also a great way to keep in touch with some people that you're recommending, or if you're on the 5-day free trial and you decide to just become a member, then we will send out emails when there's new content to explore so you won't miss a thing. So we're actually holding these calls weekly on Thursdays at 5 p.m. So people who are newly on the 5-day trial can come and explore. And also, as we're hearing from you, we're going to iterate these calls. So we want to make sure we're sharing things that are most helpful for you. I did want to highlight that we have a learning library. And when you first open the app, you'll see the option to choose conferences, series. There'll be something that says explore by category. So this is a place where when people say, where do I start? And I respond, where's the Lord leading you? I encourage them to explore the library. So we have over 350 teachings, we have courses, and I would say one of my personal favorites are the conferences. So some of you mentioned the art of thinking brilliantly. That is a great one. So for someone who is really looking to understand, what does it mean to engage with the Lord this way? What kind of mindsets do I need to have? That is actually a great place to get onboarded, we like to say, to this content and this material. I also love, there's another conference called Developing Your Destiny. And hopefully on the next call, I'll have my slides with these up, but Developing Your Destiny. And something I love about the conferences too is if you are someone who is brand new, the conferences are in a form that someone might be familiar with. So it's a recording of Graham at a conference in front of a live audience. So you'll see Graham tell more jokes, and there's something really engaging about being in front of a crowd. I also think the conferences are great if you're looking for, hey, I want to spend 2 hours a day in this content. I really want to be immersed. Conferences are a great way. And they're also broken up really beautifully into bite-sized sessions. So they might be 10, 15, 20 minutes. So it's really easy to pause, take notes. I would love to hear, Jenny, just if you have any favorites from the app, whether that's the courses, conferences, guest content, maybe give us a little bit of a preview into your mind, what you like to look at.
Sure, that's a great question. And I think it depends on what is going on for me personally at that time, what kind of where I'm at in my life or what situation I might be facing. I especially love the mentoring series that he does. There are the mentoring series that have the mentoring questions. So these are where we learn to ask questions of God and what the questions that God is asking of us. We learn cultivating the fruit of the or transformation through the fruit of the Spirit. So we learn what God is really, what he's really, and how he will talk to us. How does he talk to you? And how does he relate to you? There's the way that God walks with us, which talks about that relational engagement with God through every situation of life. And we have constant, continuous favor. So that talks about favor. You have poor favor and you have situational favor. You have poor favor because Jesus is in you and all of heaven is attracted to Jesus in you. And then you have situational favor that because you are placed in Jesus, your situation, you live above your circumstances, not below. And so he's got provision for every situation you could face and how you access that provision that he has laid out ahead of time for you for the situation. That's just a few of them. So depending upon where I'm at and what's going on for me, I will pick either a mentoring series or an event. And those events, I agree with you all. Art of Thinking Brilliantly is solid. I don't even know how many times I've listened to that. That's what I love about this content is you can listen to it and you'll learn something new each and every time. Because as you grow and as your understanding and your awareness of who God is for you and who you are in him grows, the content, you hear different things in the content and they're applicable at different times of your life.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I will say, Jenny, you've been with us for a long time. I've been with Brilliant for what, about 3.5 years, and I have not gotten close to getting through all the content. There are a couple that are my favorites that I might go through again and again, but then there are seasons where I'm like, today's the day I'm gonna go through new man theology. So it really does track with you through your learning journey. I saw you said you enjoy the PDF file. So that is an awesome little tip and trick that throughout some of the series that you go through, I think I'm specifically thinking of transformation through the fruit of the Spirit. There are in some of the descriptions activation PDF. So if someone clicks on this PDF, it will actually help them expand on what they're learning, reflect with the Lord. And those are great resources. So for those of you who are ambassadors, I would also encourage you to let those you're referring to the app know, hey, if you're getting in there and you want to dive even more deeply, look for those activations. They'll be linked right in the description. And if you're joining us and you're on the 5-day free trial, of course, we would love for you to stick around, explore a little bit more. And if you decide to subscribe and become a member, that's exciting because that means you don't have to do this journey alone, right? You'll have some ongoing support, daily encouragement, and content that helps you live from God's love rather than working for it. So if you are here and found your way here and you're not on a 5-day free trial or you haven't subscribed, be sure to just reach out to the person who told you about Brilliant if you'd like to try that 5-day free trial. I just want to say thank you. And if you want to join us again next week for a little bit more of an overview and some more topics to chat through on the BrilliantPlus app, please feel free to come back. But with that, we'll say goodbye. So thank you all for joining us this week.